Hello, music fans. It's time for another top 5 albums of 2024 in a particular subgenre. And today's subgenre is black metal. Not my usual subgenre. I'm more of a progressive metal, progressive rock, metalcore, post-hardcore fan. But I did listen to a lot of great black metal this year, and I've started to appreciate it. I got into black metal with the band Xanthocroid, that's very cinematic. So my tastes in black metal are going to be more progressive, cinematic, avant-garde, atmospheric, rather than the typical raw black metal sound, which I don't really like as much. Let's jump right in with my number 5, which is Ætheria Conscientia with The Blossoming. This is progressive atmospheric black metal with experimental influences. Check out the song Endless Cycle for a preview. It's the 3rd album by this French band. It's very intense, shrieking vocals, but also has some clean vocals and a lot of interesting sounds like horns, progressive song structures and compositions. If you're a fan of Ihsahn and Enslaved, check out Ætheria Conscientia and The Blossoming. Number 4, I have Borknagar with Fall. This is progressive black metal with folk metal, Viking metal, avant-garde metal, and neo-folk influences. Check out the song Summits for a preview. This is the 12th album by Borknagar. They're a Norwegian band. And I heard an early single ahead of time before this release. It sounded good, so that's what made me put this on my list to listen to. And I was really pleasantly surprised when I listened to the whole album. It's actually really catchy. Lots of anthemic hooks here, but also a lot of intense heaviness. There's a great blend of harsh vocals and clean vocals on this album. Great folk influences scattered into the main progressive black metal sound here. That's Borknagar with Fall. At number 3, I have Amiensus with Reclamation Part 1. This is progressive black metal. Check out the song Vermilion Fog of War for a preview of this. This is the 4th album by this American band, Amiensus. Mostly harsh vocals, but some nice female clean vocals from time to time as well. At number 2, I have the Catafalque with their album 12, and then some Hungarian title that I dare not try to pronounce, but look in the description if you want to see this list here. This is avant-garde progressive black metal with post-metal, death metal, symphonic, and experimental rock influences. Check out the song Mindanevo as a preview. This is the 12th album by the Catafalque. They're a Hungarian band. And I thought their last album, Halfold, was excellent. It's all over the place. It's a black metal album at its core with mostly black metal shrieking vocals, but there's some clean vocal sections, some sections that almost sound like dance music, and there's flute in some parts, a violin in other parts. All in all, their last album, Halfold, was just a wild adventure listening to it. And I was hoping this album would be as much of a wild adventure, and luckily it was. There's a lot of clean vocals and melody on here. I think even more clean vocals and melody than the last one, but also a lot of intensity and variety. Some parts sound like Middle Eastern music, some like electronic music, and some like really intense black metal, but it's all so enjoyable and well done that I really enjoyed this one by The Catafalque, their album 12. Check it out. And then my number 1 black metal album of 2024 is, of course, Ihsahn and his self-titled album. This is progressive cinematic black metal with classical and symphonic influences. Check out Blood Trails to Love as a preview. And this was one of my most anticipated albums of the year. This is Ihsahn's 8th album. He's the frontman of the classic Norwegian black metal band Emperor. And he released 2 versions of this album. One is a progressive black metal version, and one is an orchestral version without vocals. The progressive black metal version also features orchestral sounds in the background, so the orchestral version is actually just sounds like something he put together to play as a backing track behind his band for live shows. And then it just sounded so cool to him to listen to the orchestration on his own that he decided to put it out. I'm not entirely sure if that was what happened, but that's my theory. And he just has such a unique and boundary-pushing style. Most similar artists I can think of to Ihsahn are, of course, his band Emperor, as well as Enslaved, who are from Norway, and Xanthocroid. if you're a fan of any of those artists, definitely check out this album by Ihsahn. Blood Trail to Love has a catchy hook, and you'll hear quite a few catchy melodic hooks on this album in between the harsh black metal shrieks, and that's a pretty common theme on my list of favorite black metal albums, is they don't just do the black metal shrieks the whole time. I like to have some music with some melody and some clean vocals, so a lot of my picks have a mix of both. And I likely won't return to the orchestral version much because I prefer hearing the progressive black metal version of this album, but it's a great bonus instrumental of the album to have. And it's cool if you want to just listen to it for a more cinematic vibe. Or if there's people who don't like black metal vocals and you just want to hear the compositional genius of Ihsahn and like how he plays with harmonies and atmosphere and vibes and melodies, it's really worth checking out the orchestral version, even if you can't stand black metal, because I think the compositions are great. They sound like, excellent film scores. My favorite tracks on here are Blood Trails to Love, Hubris, and Blue Devils, and At the Heart of All Things Broken. That's Ihsahn and his self-titled album getting my top black metal album of the year. And if you made it this far, I'm going to throw you some rapid fire honorable mentions. I've got, I think, 7 honorable mentions for you here. So you're going to get 12 album recommendations in this video. All the albums I talked about on my top 5 list. My number 1, I'm putting in my near masterpiece tier, and then the other 4 are in my excellent tier. The other albums I'm going to mention here are all excellent tier albums as well. Honorable mention goes to Ein Vigi with Monochroma, post-black metal with folk and shoegaze influences. Another honorable mention goes to Sur Ostru with Datura Strahirelor. This is avant-garde atmospheric black metal with folk and doom metal influences. Third album by this Romanian band, Sur Ostru. And another honorable mention goes to Lamentary with Ex Umbra in Lucem, debut album by this band from Denmark, and it's symphonic black metal with death metal and progressive metal influences. This one has a lot of symphonic elements, which is cool for fans of Flesh God Apocalypse, Dimmu Borgir, and Emperor. And another honorable mention goes to Seer Bliss with Heavenly Down, amazing atmospheric black metal, the 9th album by this Hungarian band. This one's interesting because they have a trombone player. And another honorable mention goes to Aquilus with Bellum 2, great atmospheric symphonic black metal with classical and folk influences on here. They're an Australian one-man band. For fans of the first 2 Opeth albums and Emperor, a great blend between classical music and black metal and folk. Check out Aquilus Bellum 2. 2 more honorable mentions to go. Dodds McGurd with Omniverse Consciousness. Great progressive black metal with death metal, avant-garde metal, industrial, electronic, and classical influence. This one is for fans of Dodd Heimsgard. It's kind of like a spin-off project that features 2 of the members of that rather than the full band. They kind of branched off and did this little side project, but gave it a very similar band name, Dodds McGurd. It's kind of just like, it's almost like the letters mixed up. I'm not sure if it's exactly that. Not quite. But yeah, it's a very similar sound. And my last one that I want to mention in this video is Oranzi Pazuzu with Muntatuya. I realize a lot of these black metal albums have like crazy hard to pronounce and really hard band names to pronounce and spell. But this one is psychedelic black metal with trip hop influences. Very unique. They're a Finnish band. And again, for fans of Enslaved and Dodd Heimsgard, it's very avant-garde and strange. So check out Oranzi Pazuzu with Muntatuya. That's it for my black metal recommendations for 2024. Hope that black metal fans found something new here to check out, or if you've heard all these already, let me know what you think of them down in the comments, and what are some of your favorite black metal albums of 2024. Stay tuned to this channel because I'm going to continue doing my favorite albums in various subgenres. I'm not sure which subgenre we'll do next. I might do like a rock one, like maybe I'll combine indie, alternative, art rock, hard rock, post rock, psych rock, pop rock, folk rock, math rock. I might just combine it into one video and just do rock, but I have to exclude prog rock because prog rock's going to get its own video. But I might do other types of rock, and then I could do technical death metal and melodic death metal, maybe together, maybe separate, jazz fusion, and then of course the big one's prog rock and prog metal for me, my favorite genres. That sounds interesting to you and you want to follow my journey on my top 5 favorite albums in each genre, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the next video. Peace out.